Welcome to the BrainyX channel. In this video, we are going to go through the following 5 factorization questions taken from past exam papers. I will not go too in-depth into each factorizing method in this video. If you need a full explanation of any method, please watch the videos in this playlist, where each method is explained step by step. The purpose of this video is to practice how to recognize which factorizing method to use. Once we recognize the method, we will then factorize the expression fully. Let's start with exam question 1. Okay, the question says factorize fully. Now, I encourage you to pause the video, try it yourself before we do this together. Okay, so let's look at this expression and decide which factorizing method we are going to use. Now, looking at this expression, it does not immediately look like one of our standard methods because we have this bracket in the middle. So the best way to do this is to remove this bracket by multiplying this m into each term inside the bracket. And then let's see what we have then. Okay, so I'm going to start off by rewriting the first part, m squared, and then let's multiply this m into the bracket. So we've got positive m times with positive 4 gives us positive 4m, and positive m times positive n gives us positive mn. And then we just rewrite this term. Now have a look at this expression. It has 4 terms, and whenever we have 4 terms, one of the methods we should think about is factorizing by grouping. So I'm going to try and group these 2 terms together and these 2 terms together, take out an HCF out of each group and see if we end up with a common bracket. So let's take out an HCF or highest common factor from this first group. And here I can see that we have an m that is the only common variable between these 2 terms. So I will take out m, and m to the power of 1, that is the lowest exponent that I can take out. So m is my HCF. I open the bracket, and now let's see what is left over. I've got m squared divided by m gives us m, and 4m divided by m is 4. So my first group is done. Now looking at the second group, I can take out positive n as my HCF. What is left over? mn divided by n gives us m, and this positive 4n divided by positive n gives us positive 4. Now we end up with 2 terms because they are separated by this plus sign. And did you notice that we have a common bracket in both these terms? So what do we do with this? Yes, we take out that common bracket. So I'm going to start off by writing my common bracket. And I open up another bracket. And now let's see what is left over. When I take this term and I divide it by my HCF, m is left over. And when I take this term and I divide it by my HCF, n is left over. Now let's have one last look at this. I cannot factorize this any further, so this is my final factorized answer. Now this question is worth 3 marks. The first mark is for correctly expanding the bracket. The second mark is for correctly factorizing by grouping. So it's this. And the final mark is for the fully factorized answer. Exam question 2, we also have to factorize this expression fully. And again, I encourage you to pause the video, try it yourself before we do this together. The first thing we need to do is to recognize which factorizing method to use. Now, looking at this expression, I can see that this expression has 3 terms. So we can see that this is a trinomial, but the leading coefficient is not 1, it is 6. That means we need to factorize a trinomial where the leading coefficient is not 1, and for this type of question, we need to do this by using the AC method. The first step is to multiply a with c. Now, a is my leading coefficient, which is the 6, and c is this positive 2 over here. 6 times positive 2 gives us positive 12. Now what we need to do is to find 2 numbers when multiplied gives us positive 12, and when I add them gives me positive 7, which is the coefficient of this middle term. Now for now, I'm going to ignore this positive sign. I first need to find the number pairs, and then we will deal with the signs after that. First up, we've got 1 times 12, we've got 2 times 6, 3 times 4, and those are the only numbers when multiplied will give me this 12. Now let's look at the number pairs individually to see which will add up to give us positive 7. 1 plus 12 gives us 13. 12 minus 1, 11, not this pair. 2 and 6, if I add them, I get 8. If I subtract 6 minus 2, it gives us 4. So this number pair won't work either. If I add 3 plus 4, that will give me positive 7. So plus 3 plus 4, yes, that gives us positive 7. Now let's do a final test. Positive 3 times positive 4 gives us positive 12. So yes, this is the correct number pair. Now that we've found the number pairs, I'm going to split this middle term by using these two numbers. So I'm going to start off by writing 6x squared, but now be careful. It is very important that you group the terms where it makes the most sense. In other words, we want to group these numbers so that I can take out an HCF and end up with the same bracket to appear after we take out the HCF. Let me explain. If I group these two numbers like this, let me show it to you, plus 3x plus 2, then I can take out a 2 and an x as a common factor here, but here there's nothing to take out. So it's better to group these two numbers the other way around by grouping the 3x with the 6x squared and the 4x with the 2. Can you see that our expression is still algebraically correct? I just made a split of this middle term. And don't forget that when you add these numbers into the expression, that you add them with this variable x. Now this expression has 4 terms, so I'm going to factorize this using the grouping method. So what I'll do is I will use these 2 terms for one group and these 2 terms as the other group. Now looking at the first 2 terms, I can take out 3x as an HCF. I open up my bracket and let's see what is left over. This 6x squared divided by 3x gives us 2x. And positive 3x divided by 3x leaves us with 1. Now let's have a look at the final group. Here I can take out a positive 2. I open up my bracket and let's see what is left over. 4x divided by 2 gives us 2x. And positive 2 divided by positive 2 gives us 1. Now again we have 2 terms, but did you notice that we have 2 common brackets? Each term has the same bracket. So I take out my common bracket as an HCF. I open up a new bracket and let's see what is left over. I take this whole term and I divide it by my HCF. That gives us 3x. Because remember, your brackets cancels. And here we have this term. If I divide it by the HCF, I am left with positive 2. Now let's have a look at the brackets. I cannot factorize this any further, so this is my final factorized answer. This question is worth 2 marks, and you will receive a mark for this correct factor and this correct factor. For question 3, pause the video, try it yourself first before we do this together. So the first thing we need to do is to recognize which factorizing method to use. Now this expression has 2 terms, and the terms are separated by a minus sign. So we should check our 2-term factorizing methods. It could possibly be a difference of 2 squares or a difference of 2 cubes. Now in this case, x to the power of 4 equals x squared times x squared. And 16 equals 4 times 4. So this is a difference of 2 squares. It is not a difference of 2 cubes because x to the power of 4 and 16 are not both perfect cubes. Now that I know that this is a difference of 2 squares, I can use the difference of 2 squares method. So I open up 2 brackets. The one bracket gets a plus sign and the other bracket gets a minus sign. Now let's look at our first term, which is x to the power of 4. I need to find the square root for x to the power of 4. So I ask myself, what number multiplied by itself will give me x to the power of 4? Now I've already established that it is x squared. So I'm going to write x squared in the first part of each bracket. Now let's look at the second term. That is 16. What is the square root of 16? So what multiplied by itself will give us 16, and that is 4. So I can write 4 in the second space of each bracket. Now that you factorize this and you say that you are done, you always have to check whether you can factorize any further. Now looking at my first bracket, I can see that I cannot do anything with this, so the first bracket is done. But looking at the second bracket, I can see that this is a difference of 2 squares. And why do I say that? Because this x squared when I find the square root for that, x times x gives me x squared, so the square root is x. And for the 4, 2 times 2 gives us 4, so the square root of 4 is 2. So we need to factorize this further. So what I do is I rewrite this first bracket, which is x squared plus 4, and then I open up two brackets again. The one bracket gets a plus sign and the other bracket gets a minus sign. Now take your first term and you find the square root for x squared. And we've already established that it is x. And I write x in the first space of each bracket. Now let's look at this 4. I need to find the square root of 4. That is 2. And I write it in the second space of each bracket. Now let's have a look at the brackets again. This one, I already know I cannot do anything with this anymore. X plus 2, no, I cannot factorize this any further, neither this one. So this is my final factorized answer. So this question is worth 4 marks. You will get a mark for factorizing this. Then you will get 2 marks for correctly factorizing this difference of squares, and a final mark for this final answer. And you will then receive your full 4 marks. For exam question 4, I also want you to pause the video, try it yourself before we do this together. All right, the first thing we need to do is to recognize which factorizing method to use. Now this expression has 2 terms, but it is not immediately a difference of 2 squares or a sum or a difference of 2 cubes. But notice here that each term has a bracket that looks almost the same. The first bracket is a minus b, and the second bracket is b minus a. So these 2 brackets are opposites of each other. So what we can do is to do a sign change. So normally when I do a sign change, I do the sign change for the second bracket. So what we'll do first is I will write this first term down as it is. I will leave a space for the sign. I will write this 8b squared and the bracket. Now let's do the sign change. I've got a negative a and I want a positive a. So let's change it to a positive a. And I normally write the positive terms in front. And then the b is positive, I want it negative. So I'm going to do it like this. And I close the bracket. But now it's very important. When you do a sign change inside the brackets, you need to change the sign that is in front of your brackets. And here the sign is positive. So what we need to do is to change this positive into a negative. Notice what we've got here. We've got 2 brackets in both terms and they are both the same. So we can take this bracket out as our common bracket. So what we'll do is I will write this down and then I will open up another bracket and then we will see what is left over. So I'll take this 2a squared times with a minus b and I divide it with my common bracket. And that leaves us with 2a squared. And here we've got negative 8b squared times a minus b. Don't forget this negative sign. Divided by this HCF, that gives us negative 8b squared. Again, before you say that you are done, have a look at your brackets. This bracket is done. I cannot factorize anything from this. But looking at this bracket, I see that I can take out 2 as a common factor. So let's do that. I'm going to write it like so. I'm going to take out 2 as a highest common factor. Do not take out a plus or a minus sign because we are working with products here. There are no pluses and minuses anymore. Then what is left over? We've got a squared minus 4b squared. Okay, are you done? No, because this is a difference of 2 squares. Why do I say that? Because looking at a squared, a multiplied by a gives us a squared. And here 2b multiplied by 2b gives us 4b squared. So this is a difference of 2 squares. So let's rewrite this again. I can move this 2 to the front. Then I write my first bracket. And now what do? We open up 2 brackets. The one bracket gets a plus sign. The other bracket gets a minus sign. Now you take your first term and you find the square root for that term. So the square root of a squared is a. So I write that in the first space of each bracket. Now let's look at 4b squared. What is the square root? It is 2b. So I write that in the second space of each bracket. Now let's look at the brackets again. This is fully factorized. This is fully factorized as well as this one. So this is my final factorized answer. So this question is worth 4 marks. You will receive a mark for correctly changing the sign. You will receive a mark for correctly taking out the common bracket. Then you will receive a mark for taking out this 2 as a common factor. And you will receive your 4th and final mark for correctly factorizing this whole expression. Exam question 5 is the last question for this video. So again, I encourage you to pause the video, try it yourself before we do this together. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to recognize which factorizing method to use. Now this expression has 2 terms and they are separated by a minus sign. So we might think about a difference of 2 squares or a difference of 2 cubes. But have a look at this. None of these terms are perfect squares or perfect cubes. So what else can we do? Yes, we can try and find our highest common factor. And once we take that out, we can see what we are left with and then see what we can do with that. A highest common factor that I can take out from both these terms is 5, because 5 can go into the 5 and the 40 without a remainder. I open up my bracket and let's see what's left over. 5m cubed divided by 5 gives us m cubed. Minus 40 divided by 5 gives us 8. Now let's have a look what we have inside the bracket. Yes, m3 is a perfect cube and 8 is a perfect cube. Why do I say that? Because m times m times m equals m to the power of 3, and 2 times 2 times 2 gives us 8. So we can use the difference of cube method for this. So we will start off by writing down the 5. We cannot throw that away. It's part of the answer. Then we open 2 brackets. Remember, the second bracket must be larger than the first bracket. Then we do the signs. The signs are same, opposite, positive signs. The same sign, yes, we are working with a negative sign, so same sign. Opposite sign, positive sign. Now that the signs are done, let's fill out the brackets. First, let's have a look at this m cubed. I have to find the cube root of m cubed, and that is m. Now let's have a look at the 8. What is the cube root of 8? That is 2. Great, my first bracket is done. Now we need to fill out the second bracket. For this first term in the second bracket, I need to square this term. For the middle term, I need to multiply these 2 terms. And for the last term, I need to square the second term of the first bracket. So m times m gives us m squared. Let's multiply these 2. M times 2 gives us 2m. And 2 times 2, or 2 squared, is 4. So this is my final factorized answer. So this question is worth 3 marks. You will receive a mark for factoring out this 5. You will receive a mark for this factor and for this factor. This brings us to the end of this video. I hope that working through these exam questions helped you to recognize which factorizing method to use. Remember, once you can recognize the method, the next step is to factorize carefully and make sure your answer is fully factorized. If there are any maths concepts or methods you would like us to explain in a future video, please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.